What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this week's third exclusive segment from the greatest podcast on turf. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Anthony.
And for this exclusive segment, we are going to be doing our weekly best bets episode. Once again, last week we were not very good. So we're not going to touch on that. We are still in the green, I promise you. But be sure to check out our other content this week. On Tuesday, we had our college football recap on YouTube. We also did a recap of everything that happened in sports from NFL, basketball, even touched on some MMA. So be sure to check that out. Also, be sure to check out our content yesterday where we did our Stardom Sit-em episode and our weekly Pick'em series. I still have a commanding lead.
Yeah, with that being said, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you are new, click the link in the description for our TikTok page. We post on there regularly. For our Instagram page, you want to follow our Instagram because we are running giveaway at the Eagles game a couple weeks. We run all our giveaways through our Instagram. We post details to other stuff on there, so you want to follow us on there. Yeah, like Ryan pretty much touched on it all. Keep showing the greatest podcast on turf some love. And speaking of all these exciting giveaways and announcements and other stuff going on, it wouldn't be possible without our sponsor.
Little Italy Pizzeria. They got the best cheesesteaks, the best pizza in all of Delaware. 2 locations. One of those is in Townsend, Delaware. The other one is in Middletown. Be sure to come in and check it out if you want to get some lunch, dinner. Come in and watch the football games. Like I said, I say it every week. There's a TV on every wall. Great food, great people, great prices. Let them know that the greatest podcast on turf sent you. They will take care of you. Also show proof that you're subscribed and they will hook you up with an additional discount.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my family's business. Thank you for the kind words as always, Ryan. Your boy picked up a bartending job on Sunday, so now the greatest podcast on turf hangout spot is at Little Italy Pizzeria. So come hang out with the boys, watch some football. We'll make you some food. We'll drink some soda. We'll hang out, have a good time. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and just real quick start with my lock of the week. This is kind of obvious. We got the New York Giants traveling to the Miami Dolphins. I'm taking the Dolphins -4 on this one. I'm locking it in. This one comes down to the fact that the Dolphins defense is playing out of their mind and Mike Glennon is a starting quarterback. So for Mike Glennon being the Giants starting quarterback alone, I'm taking the Dolphins -4. This one could be a bloodbath for the Giants. The Giants are not very good. They're all banged up. Saquon's not healthy. Kadarius Toney, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Galladay, they're all on the injury report like they are every other week. They're just banged up, so I'm taking the Dolphins -4 with this one and locking it in. I'm keeping it short and sweet.
My first best bet this week, it is San Francisco versus Seattle Seahawks under. Seahawks, the last 8 out of the 9 games, it has gone under. Russell Wilson is not Russell Wilson that we all know, that we all love. He is not throwing the ball around the yard. The total for this game is, let me see. There it is, 45.5. The Seattle Seahawks do not score 45.5 points. They do not score their portion of 20 points. And the San Francisco 49ers, I don't think they will score their portion if they don't have to. The 49ers are a rushing football team. That is what they pride themselves on. They're without Deebo Samuel, which is going to make them really rely on Elijah Mitchell, running the football, relying on their defense and securing a win. And on the Seattle side, you got Russell Wilson, who isn't looking good at all. The division rivalry, I just don't see these two teams lighting up the scoreboard at all. I see San Francisco winning a pretty close, ugly game, personally.
I agree, yeah, and if you want our full thoughts on these games, check out yesterday's podcast. You don't want to miss it. We went in depth on each of these games, picked our winners, argued about some games, placed some bets. I'm probably going to have a lot of more bets this week because I beat Ryan last week, so I'm feeling confident. I'm an emotional bettor. So check out the podcast. Go ahead, check it out. Link in the description. My next best bet this week, I'm going to go ahead and ride the under train with you. I'm taking the under, surprisingly. This is going to be one of those ones that bites me in the ass. I'm an emotional bettor. It's Wednesday when we're recording this. I'm taking the under of the Chargers-Bengals game. The over-under is 50.5 points. I'm taking the under for the sole reason that the forecast for Cincinnati, Ohio on Sunday afternoon is 58 and rainy. It's going to be pretty chilly and rainy. That makes all the shootout for this is going to be a Joe Mixon versus Austin Eckler bloodbath battle. Going to come down to which running back can play better. If you want my pick on who I think is going to win, linked in the podcast yesterday. You want to check it out. Me and Ryan actually almost bet on this game. We talked about it a lot. Be sure to check it out. But yeah, the under of 50.5 points, I'm taking it on this one. It's going to be cold and rainy. They're not going to want to throw the ball. They're going to just try and run the ball and get out of this one. I have a feeling this has all the makings to be a low-scoring defensive dogfight. So I'm taking the under on this game as well, surprisingly. You would think this is an over game, but no.
My next best bet, and I am keeping on the under train. I am taking the Eagles-Jets under 45.5. Now, the Eagles last week, they kind of let Jalen Hurts take over, throw the ball around the yard, and well, it did not really work out for him. They barely beat the New York Giants, and then on the other side, you got the Jets, who Zach Wilson became the starter, and they won 21-14. And the Eagles lost. They lost?
Yeah, they did lose.
They lost.
Remember Jalen Rager dropped the game-winning touchdown?
That's right. The Eagles scored 7 points, and the Jets scored 21 against Houston. These teams aren't going to light up the scoreboard. They're not going to get a combined 45.5. The Eagles are going to go back to running the football. They're going to rely on Jalen Hurts to run the football, as well as whatever running back is healthy, because they're all questionable.
They all suck.
And then on the Jets side of the football, they're also going to run the football, because that's what you do against the Eagles. The Eagles have a pretty good secondary. Elijah Moore, if he goes up against Darius Slay, will probably get shut down, I would say, pretty easily. So, Eagles-Jets over 45.5. I don't like it. I don't see it. So, take the under.
I think the Jets are going to win this game. I do. Because the Eagles suck. But that's beside the point. We touched on that on yesterday's podcast. Be sure to check it out. And for my final best bet of the week, I'm keeping this one short and sweet as well. I'm taking the Cardinals minus 7.5 points at the Chicago Bears. Kyler Murray's coming back. The Bears are terrible, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. The Cardinals are finally healthy. They're coming off a bye week. Kyler and D-Hop were both at practice today, full participants. And the Bears just suck. Disrespectfully, the Bears are bad. So Cardinals minus 7.5 points. Kyler's coming back. Kyler was the MVP before he got hurt. I'm sure he's going to have another MVP caliber game. He's getting D-Hop back. They're healthy. I think the Cardinals are going to blow the Bears out because the Bears suck and they almost lost to the Detroit Lions last week. So go ahead and take the Cardinals minus 7.5 points, and that's a very comfortable spread for the Cardinals this week.
My final best bet is Minnesota traveling to the Detroit Lions. I am taking the under 46.5 this game. I've taken all under so far. This game, once again, it's going to be an ugly one. The Detroit Lions, their last 3 have gone under. Minnesota, they kind of split between over-under a little bit, but the Lions are going to be without DeAndre Swift, who was literally their whole entire offense. He is the big play on this offense. He is the guy that can get an 80-yard touchdown. With nobody getting an 80-yard touchdown, it's going to be Jamal Williams getting the ball up the middle for about 3 or 4 yards of carry, and they're not going to do very good. On Minnesota's side, Dalvin Cook is out. I know Dalvin Cook is a running back, so they're probably going to throw the ball more. I get that, but Detroit allows running backs to destroy him. So I think Minnesota's going to stay true to their running back system. Both teams are going to run the football. It is a division rivalry, I guess you could say. So I'm still taking the under in this game. I don't think these two teams can score 46.5 points. Definitely not based on their last games at all. Detroit's going to try to run the ball. Minnesota's going to try to run the ball. I don't see this being a shootout at all.
Respectfully, it's not a rivalry if you get your ass kicked every time.
And if both teams suck.
Respectfully, though. And yeah, with that being said, that was the greatest podcast on Turf's Week 13 Best Bets, our undefeated edition. These are all locks. These are all guaranteed money wins. And we'll see next week how much money you guys won after placing our best bets. Just a disclaimer, I should have said this earlier. We are not financial advisors. We are not telling you to go bet $1 million on these games. We are telling you the bets that we are placing on our parlay cards on Sunday morning at the store before we go hang out, watch some football at Little Italy Pizza Shop, our sponsor. So show the greatest podcast on Turf some love. Follow us, use the links in the description. Show My Family's Business, our sponsor, some love. Got some pretty dope stuff in the works with them. And we'll see you guys next week for our weekly roundup and for our mock draft. Mock draft Monday's back. We'll see you guys.
See you.